Good evening, everyone. So, we all learned in high school that nature abhors a vacuum. You know, there's nothing there, nature's going to fill it. And to me, silence is a vacuum. And I'm just grateful to be alive at a time where I can fill that vacuum of silence with just about any music I want, anytime, anywhere. Music is my constant companion. So with that in mind, I'm also a sucker for radio call-in giveaways. I did right like that, sure. But since I started calling in college to radio stations, I have won countless records, CDs, concert tickets, backstage passes. And one afternoon in the early 1980s, I was listening to WCSB, the Cleveland State station here in town. You're welcome. And I heard third caller wins an album by, and after that I didn't hear, I just heard third caller wins. So I called in, and I won an album called Aura, the latest record by a Nigerian musician called King Sunny Ade, who I've never heard of before. The record shows up a couple weeks later. I played the shit out of it. It was great. I'd never heard a groove like that before. But I played it a few times, filed it away, pulled it out every now and then over the years. But flash forward then to Chicago, 1998. I'm downtown. I'm in a really shitty mood. I don't know why. I'm just in a really crappy mood. And I hail a cab to take me up to Lincoln Park to a friend's house. Cab pulls over. I get in, back seat. And there's some music playing from the tape deck, again, 1998, from the tape deck, that was just this joyous sound. I mean, it was just this irresistible beat. The cabbie was African. The music clearly sounded like it was African, too. And even in bad moods, I love to talk to cab drivers. You never know what you're going to learn from someone. And I was really curious about this music. So at this point, I know exactly, on the entire African continent, I know the name of one musician. But it was the only card I had in my hand, so I played that card. So nonchalantly, so is this King Sunny Ade? You know, like I knew what I was talking about. And now when I've told this story to friends in the past, I try and do his accent when I do his reply, but it's a more enlightened age. I'm not going to do that. And not just because I'm the white guy that might sound like he's mocking a person of color, but also I cannot replicate the joy in his voice when he replied. So his joy, coupled with his accent, was a sound as beautiful as the music he was playing. So again, I asked, is this King Sunny Ade? And he says, do you know who King Sunny Ade is? You know King Sunny Ade? This is King Sunny Ade, and this is me. I'm his bass player. This is us. And so in typical American fashion, I said, get out of here, you're full of shit. But seriously? And he was not full of shit, and he didn't go anywhere. And we talked as he drove about him meeting King Sunny Ade, about how he recorded with King Sunny Ade whenever King came to the States to record. You know, they're touring, they're recording sessions. All details are lost in memory's fog, but we had a great conversation. So at this point I said, well, forget where I was going. Please take me to Tower Records, which was, the Tower Records in Chicago was this heaven on earth, and I don't know that there was a CD available that they didn't have in stock. So, takes me to Tower. We're both smiling like idiots when he pulls over, because this has just been a great conversation. Say goodbye, run up to the international section. I remember sprinting up the escalator. Get an album called Oh Dude, the latest by King Sunny Ade. Oh, prior to that, I had him sign a business card for me. Just autograph this for me, please. Which survived a trip through the washer, but still here. So I Denise. So anyway, I sprint up, I grab the record, I open it up, and there he is with the rest of the band, credited, and I forgot to give him full credit. His name was, shit, sorry, I had a little extra beer before I came up here. Oh God, Remy Abagande. And there he was. And so we're both laughing. We had the best time. I meet this guy, and I think of this story a lot these days. Because when I got out of that cab, I was in a great mood because I had just met someone whose music meant a lot to me. And Remy was in a great mood because he just met somebody who knew his music. And so here's the thing. Among the billions of people on Earth that day, two very different people with very different backgrounds in a city that neither one of them was born in came together and found a common ground through music. And with all of the hatred and division and racism and fear and distrust and all that Trump bullshit that evidently is national policy these days, I wish everyone could have an experience like this, just to learn that we have so much more in common than we think. So thank you, music, for letting Remy and me have a joyful few minutes together.